how we perform statistical analysis. So there are various tools. We are going to use R here, and R can be downloaded from the site that you see on the screen. The R is very easy to learn. You can use it as a scripting language. You can also use to create in a full-fledged programs or web applications. R is primarily used for statistical analysis. The reason is that you have a plenty and plenty of packages which has been created, by renowned developers in this area in the field of statistics for uses by others. So what you need to do is you just need to look for the package, install it in R, and then load it in R and start using it instead of writing all those algorithms, complex algorithms on your own. So once you install R, this is how the screen will look. But what we will do is we will not really use R screen. We will use R Studio, which is a wonderful IDE. IDE in the sense integrated development environment for R. The R Studio can be downloaded from the site that you see on screen. So what you have to do is first install R and then install R Studio. R Studio screen would look like this. So without wasting much time, let's go to R, and so let's see now how R works. R Studio. In fact, I'm going to the blank. So what I have done here is I go to File and I do a new file and create a R script. There are a lot of other things that will discuss in due course. So let's open a R script here, and that is what I have done. So when you open it first time, it creates an untitled one file. Okay, this file, which you can rename it, save it as another file. So once I have this file, then I can go to save as, like, if you have used any other IDE like Eclipse for Java or anything else, it works the same way. So you can save as, and you can give the name of your library where you want to save it. There is an option R where you can go to session and you can set the working directory. This working directory will hold all the codes that you create here, and by default it will save your work in that directory. So that is how you set the working directory. You have usual menu that you find in any other IDE. So for edit code, how to run the code and do various things with the code. You can do debugging. You can jump to a section in the code. You can go to a different file or function in the code. So various things you do. Okay. Similarly, view has different options. R, since it's a language for statistical analysis, you can create beautiful plots in R, and those plots uh, are very presentable, and you can have interactive plots as well. Okay, session, you can create a new R session. You terminate if R is stuck. You can restart R and set the working directory. Load workspace. What it does is, if you are working in R Studio, uh, then the work that you have done can be saved, and next time when you again come back to R or R Studio, you can load the previous workspace. Uh, that will see how you can do that. So you can do all those things, or you can quit a session. You can build your code as you do in any other IDE. You have debug option here. You can set your profile. Tools has some quite a good options for installing packages and all, but this global options is something that you can use for uh, different things. Let's say you are working on a project where there are more than one person. So you can have configuration management tool integrated with R. You can use Git or SVN and integrate that with R Studio. Okay. There are other options like publishing. You can publish your artwork, or rather, the work that you have done in R Studio directly to a website called rpubs.com. So you can uh, configure, that website here with user ID and password. Other things are quite general in the sense, how you can set colors and uh, colors, indentation, and those kind of things. Okay, so those things are pretty straightforward. The pan layout, you can change it. What I have got here is the source. So this thing is, let me cancel it. Here on the left hand top box, the this box that you see here is where I would be typing in the code. Okay, this is called the source code. On the lower left hand side, this box is show you the is to get the result, the output of the code that you have here. Okay, R is based on object oriented architecture. So there is global environment, local environment, global scope, local scope, and those kind of things, those concept. Okay, so what you see on the right hand side, top box here where I'm moving the mouse. Okay, so this is where it will show you uh, the environment, the global environment objects or variables that is in R. Okay, and on the right hand side lower box, this one where I'm moving my cursor. Okay, you see various things, like if you create a plot, it will show the plot. It will give you the list of files that is uh, there in the default library or the library where you set working directory. You have a list of packages. So these packages are uh, uh, some of them are installed when you install R, and later on when you need any other package, you can go to install and then install the package from website. Okay, R has a very beautiful function here, called help, which is inbuilt in R Studio. So if you need help on anything, you just click on help, let's say I need help on reading a CSV file. So I say read, and after that it gives you a lot of items in a drop down list to explore. So you can click on that, and it has uh, uh, inbuilt help, okay, on which you can look at and then explore it, how it works. It gives you the details about all the options that is there in that in that uh, help. And then if you go to the bottom, it also tells you how to use this particular function. So yeah, so if you go to the bottom, you see it gives you some examples as well on how to use this particular function. So in a nutshell and in a short span of time, this is what our studio does. In fact, this help thing you can get by a lot of other options are there to help. You can also type in, say, help, and in bracket, let's say I say something like solve. Okay. So this R Studio has inbuilt uh, options to display the matching functions. Okay. So when I type in there and to execute it, I go to run. So I click on run, and it gives me the help on solve. You see here. So that's a beautiful option here. Okay, to run a line of code or a set of lines, uh, you go to that line, put your mouse there, click on run, it will work. If you have multiple lines, you select all those lines, click on run, it will work, it will execute all those lines. If you have developed your code, tested everything, and the entire code is fine, fine in the sense it is tested, works fine, and you are going to put in production, let's say, as a script or as a program, anything. After that, you can configure that entire thing to be run. So you can have exe r, then that file name .r. If you want to run it in R Studio, that entire thing, you can simply open the file here and you click on source. So this will then run the entire thing. Okay, the entire program. So that's how you execute a code. R commands are basically case sensitive. See, R is actually an expression language. Okay. This is also called an interpreter language. Interpret in the sense you don't really have to compile the code and then get an executable, execute it, and then get your result, right? It is like whatever lines of code that you uh, put in or you code, okay, that is called an expression, and that expression is executed directly. Okay, so you give an instruction to R, and R gives you the output. Okay, but it is case sensitive. Okay. Like most Unix based languages or packages. In fact, R is also quite tightly based on Unix operating systems. Okay, a lot of codes are developed here in C language using Unix. However, this works on Unix, Windows, Mac, everything. Okay, so and you have to be careful about the the case sensitive thing. Okay, so let's now when I say it is an interpreter language, then what it does is you can simply say, let's say 4 plus 5, and if I click on run, it gives me the answer. So this is how this interpreter language works. To execute, you can either click on run, or if you see, you will have uh, you know, different things to different options to run the code. You can go to code and see different options to run the code. Okay, when you are saying run the selected lines, you can also click control plus enter, and it will run the existing line where your mouse is. Okay, you can run the previous code. All those things you can do. In fact, if I go to console and uh, I've just pressed page up button, page up key on my keyboard, and it has brought up the previous line that I had executed. Okay. And this can be executed here again. Okay. So this is how you do the previous line execution. Okay. We can save this result either by save this code either by going to file and save as that I told you earlier, or you can also save not only the code but the result as well by a command. Here when R call it a function, so by function called sync. Okay, and in the sync I'll give it a name to sync, a file where I want to store my code as well as output. Okay, so you can name anything. Okay, save out, let's say. Okay, and give the extension where you want to save it, either as a list or as a txt file. So when you execute sync, after that anything that you do here would be saved in save out.txt. And when you want to okay, and since we have not mentioned the path of the file where saveout.txt is going to be created, R will create it in the default library that you have set by using session and then set working directory. Okay, if it is not there, then it would create in the folder where R is installed. So you can start saving your things there. Okay, one thing very important to keep in mind with R is that when you work with R stores everything in its memory. Okay, so if you have plenty and plenty of data, if you have a humongous amount of data and you are reading it in R for further process, then R will slow down your computer, your laptop or whatever you have. Okay, and if you are using that data, doing lot of slicing and dicing on the data, while you are working, you will do data cleaning, data manipulations, data validations, several other things. Now let's say you have done all those and got a final set of data after cleaning, validating and everything. Then it is always recommended that you remove uh, the original data set and free up the storage. Okay, free up the R memory. So there are options to remove. Usually what we use is we use RM and just give the name of the object or variable that you have. It could be X, Y or anything. Okay, and those things would be removed. Okay. You can also check what are the objects that you have created. Everything that you do in R, it actually stores it in a variable which is called object here. Just for example, if I say x equals 4 plus 5, here you will not see the result because the output has been stored in x. Okay. So x has x has 9. Okay. And now if I say objects and then enter, what it says is I have dense and x. Dense is something that I had created it earlier, not in this session for this demo, but it was out of this session. But this is also there, and this is also part of my global environment here that you see. Okay, so dense is there, and there is also x. So it gives you a list of all the objects that is available in our environment. Okay, and which is taking up our memory. You can always remove it to free up the storage. Okay, see, now this has been removed. Now if I say objects, so this is how you manage our memory, because it uses everything in its memory. Okay, that is how it works.
I'm sure you enjoyed learning from this video. Please like the video, and if you have any doubts regarding this video, please comment us in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such informative videos. Do look out for other related videos in our playlist. For more information, visit our website now. Keep learning with Intellipaat.